So, Carlos Maza is not giving up. Of course he's not giving up because he's a left-wing ideologue. More on that in a minute. This is from Red State. Steven Crowder hasn't done anything wrong. Of course, Red State is a right-leaning paper. It's not even a paper, it's a website. But as of right now, Steven Crowder's YouTube channel is being investigated for quote-unquote racist and anti-LGBT speech. More on that in a second, but you'll see why it's not really as it seems. Maza is upset over the fact that Crowder makes fun of his ideas and attacks him during the course of response videos Crowder makes that debunk Maza's claims in his videos. Maza tweeted at YouTube saying he has a thick skin, but he's bothered by Crowder's attack toward him. So this is how you know someone who doesn't have a thick skin when they say exactly this. So I have a pretty thick skin when it comes to online harassment. You mean people debunking your bullshit? Yeah. But something has been really bothering me. So you don't have thick skin. You're a thin-skinned soy boy. Get it. I got it. Then he says, since I've been working at Vox, Steven Crowder's been making video after video debunking strike-through because it's very easy to debunk your bullshit. Every single video has included repeated overt attacks on my sexual orientation and ethnicity. Here's a sample. Yeah, Carlos, because you call yourself those exact same words. But why is it okay for you to call yourself that, but someone else does it in a joking fashion? Oh, I see. Yeah, I get it. Rules for thee, but not for me. Gotcha. And this is what's funny about YouTube, is that Carlos Maza apparently has a freaking pipeline or a red phone direct link to them. It says YouTube responded by publicly telling Maza that they're looking into it, and they sent him a direct message over Twitter. So YouTube team basically said, thanks for outlining all of this. We're looking into it further. Send you a DM now. See? This is what's funny about that. See, people like Steven Crowder don't have a direct line to him. Why? Because he's conservative. He really isn't that conservative, but the point is that anybody right of Mao Zedong or Pol Pot is essentially fair game for YouTube to criticize and to ban, deplatform, etc. And Carlos Maza is, as you'll see in a couple minutes, quote-unquote, his words, a Marxist pig. That's his words, not mine. But you'll see that in a minute. So, in his response, I saw this video. He basically said he got his half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richardson, to head off any of this bullcrap that's going on. And if you've seen this tweet down here in this video right here, it says, anyway, if you want to help, I guess you can go to this dude's videos and flag them. So he's actually asking people to brigade Steven Crowder, which is kind of a bitch move. I'm sorry, but it is a bitch move. In response, Crowder warned his viewers that it's not just about YouTube attempting to shut a channel down for supposed hate speech. It's a multi-million-dollar corporation attempting to silence its loudest critics. That's exactly what's going on. This is the long and short version of the story, but the short tale actually opens the door to a much larger conversation that needs to be had. This conversation can easily be started with a simple question: what is hate speech? Exactly. Because hate speech is different to many different people. Crowder did, in fact, call Maza, quote, a lip-see queer and a gay Mexican. In today's politically correct world, this is enough to send clutching hands to the nearest pearls. However, as Crowder said in his update video about the attacks on him by Vox to silence him, there are a combination of both friendly ribbling, something he does with his own co-hosts, and accurate descriptors that Maza himself used to craft his identity. Bingo. He runs the rainbow flag up the flagpole to let everybody know that he is, in fact, gay and part of the LGBT community. Good for him. Am I right? In short, Maza is upset that Crowder is describing him accurately. It's just that Crowder is using from the position of an intellectual adversary. So it's not a slur. Crowder hasn't called for an actual destruction of anyone in the LGBT community and has made it clear that bringing anyone to physical harm is not something he's okay with. He also hasn't used LGBT terminology that Maza hasn't used to describe himself. In truth, Maza has no leg to stand on. That's absolute truth. If you call yourself a Marxist pig and someone calls you a Marxist pig, you can't clutch your pearls and get all mad and start brigading people to ban people that you don't agree with, who challenges your stupid, terrible ideas. In my opinion, of course. And we'll get to this, Carlos Maza's Twitter bio un momento. For instance, Maza can suggest that Fox News Tucker Carlson is in line with white supremacists, with no basis in fact, by the way, because his content generates racist sympathies, and suggests that Carlson himself isn't concerned with things like immigration policies, but concerned with people are different. However, since Maza never calls Carlson any fun names, suggesting Carlson is guilty of racism isn't hate speech. It's also almost libelous, honestly. However, videos like Maza's generates a dangerous narrative that Carlson is a dangerous racist promoting hate and violence. It's a narrative that some have taken very seriously, and they wind up at Carlson's doorstep threatening him with physical injury and attempting to gain access into his home while his wife and daughters hide in a closet. Yet, you never heard Carlos Maza actually not condone, but actively go against this sort of violence. Oh, wait a minute. Does Carlos Maza want violence against people who he disagrees with? Isn't that a violation of Twitter rules and maybe YouTube's rules and policies? I wonder if he ever said that. Oh yeah, he did. At this time, I haven't seen or heard Maza denounce this kind of treatment of the right as I've seen Crowder denounce that kind of behavior towards the left. Exactly. Steven Crowder always denounces violence against the other side. If I'm wrong, then by all means, please let me know and I'll make the correction. At this time, all I have is Maza promoting the idea of assaulting people because he doesn't like their politics, so my faith in goodness is a bit shaky. So here's the tweet that he still hasn't taken down and he still hasn't apologized for, and he won't. Milkshake them all, referring to the milkshaking incidents in England. Humiliate them at every turn, make them dread public organizing. And here's the proof that he actually still has it up. Milkshake them all, humiliate them at... Okay, you get what I'm trying to say. He's actually promoting violence against people who he doesn't agree with. And he has the fucking balls to come out against Steven Crowder and say, he's making fun of me. But this a-hole right here, is actually promoting violence against people who he doesn't like. Anybody right of Mao Zedong and Pol Pot and Stalin, etc. You get the point. So this kind of BS kind of basically moved over to actually happening here in the United States. Where is it? Right here. This happened this last weekend. Notice Carlos Maza's tweet, the 21st of May. This is from Tim Poole's thing. Milkshaking crosses the pond. Matt Gaetz gets doused in Pensacola. Now, he got milkshaked. So basically, you could say Carlos Maza basically, without any evidence, of course, because we don't know, but you could correlate that he did promote this, and this lady who actually doused Matt Gaetz, Congressman Matt Gaetz, with a milkshake, he promoted it and it happened. So could he be responsible for it? Don't know. Time will tell. But this happened on June 1st. His tweet came out on May 21st. Interesting. Let's continue. Yet, Crowder can deconstruct Maza's arguments with actual points that don't accuse a person of horrid behavior with the exception of dishonest journalism. It's only hate speech because Crowder referred to him in ways Maza refers to himself. Hate speech, at least as I understood it, is a malicious attack on certain race, group, or religion with unfounded accusation and calls or suggestions for violence. We popularly associate hate speech with ideals given up by this party and verbalized by this guy. We still hear it today, only it doesn't come from the right. And by the way, these entities, they're left-wing. They're not right-wing, they're left-wing. So Crowder is known to do this, only Crowder is doing it for comedic purposes, and it isn't at all hateful towards the people he lampoons. MTV, BuzzFeed, and Huffington Post are deadly serious. Not only is this hypocritical, it shows the left's cards. Its unofficial motto is, "It's okay when we do it," or "Rules for thee, not for me." I think that's what I was trying to get at. The left mentality is that you can say and do whatever they want because they feel their racism, sexism, bigotry, and even violence is for the greater good. Crowder's verbal jabs, however, are an avenue to evil. But more importantly, Crowder is usually right in his rebuttals and his criticism. This, pulling back the curtain, is dangerous to an ideological group whose message and narratives only thrive in a vacuum, or a echo chamber, if you will, that beyond anything else has to be silenced. Crowder has done absolutely nothing wrong, especially by the standards set by the left. In truth, his crime is saying they're wrong and proving it. I totally agree with this writer's stance on this, and I totally support. I'm to the point now where I'm a free speech absolutist. I think you should be able to. I'd be able to see you get up in the movie theater and yell out "fire," because it's always because everything is dependent on you. You shouldn't just freak out just because someone yells "fire." You should probably go, "Is there a fire? Do I smell smoke? Let's see if this guy's wrong." I'm not just going to get up and start screaming and running for the exits. That's not how you do it. Everybody in this country puts on their big people pants, and it's time we start doing that instead of freaking out that someone call me a name. Big deal. You don't think people like myself don't get called names because we have our certain opinions? But let's continue. So here's Tim Poole's. This was on June 1st. It says YouTube investigating right wing. Notice how anybody right of Carlos Maza is right-wing pundit Steven Crowder for harassing Vox.com host. He's not harassing him. He's debating his ideas and doing a pretty goddamn good job of it. And then here's from Sinatra. He goes, Vox SJW has a meltdown on Twitter, calls for banning of Steven Crowder. So here's who Carlos Maza is, okay? He's an American video producer who writes, produces, and hosts Vox series Strike Through. He has been described as Brian Stelter meets Now This, which isn't a very good mantle to, or laurels to polish, if you will. Maza graduated from Wake Forest, a known leftist, activist, ideological institution in 2010, with a bachelor's arts degree in political science. Of course, he previously worked at Media Matters for America from 2011 to 2016, where he is a research fellow and created a video series on media criticism. At Media Matters, he was also the LGBT program director. Oh, by the way, did you know he's gay? Pfft, big deal. In capacity which he focused on rebutting what he described as anti-LGBT myths. Okay. He currently works at Vox Media, boo, where he produces Strike Through which is published on YouTube. As of April 2019, he has 74,000 followers on Twitter under the name at quote-unquote gay wonk. There you go. Maza is openly gay. No shit. But who cares? Who really cares? Anyways, in 2017, Washington Blaine named him one of the 20 most eligible singles in Washington, D.C. area. Maza is an atheist. No shit. So here is the tweet that he was trying to get, because Steven Crowder put out this 20-minute fake apology video quote-unquote fake apology video. I think it was sincere, by the way, but that's just me. Where he gratuitously repeats every thing he's done on his show, making a joke about it. He's daring YouTube to do something about it, knowing full well they won't actually enforce their policies. See, Carlos Maza, you're a fucking weak individual. You're weak. You are weak. And you know you're weak. That's why you have to get YouTube to use reverse psychology to try to ban someone from making quote-unquote gross jokes and names at me. Go have some soy. Go have some soy. There you go. So you get the point. And the response here is pretty interesting, because here's a famous photo right here of milkshakes being dumped on protesters against a long time ago at lunch counters. African Americans weren't allowed to sit, and so you see here they're dropping milkshakes on people who were supporting their right to sit at the lunch channel with white people, and you see the milkshakes being dumped on the African American woman and the white woman next to her, and the crowd of people. So basically, this is the kind of work that Carlos Maza approves, dumping milkshakes based on their. If you don't agree with somebody, you should dump your milkshake on them, because that's normal and you should be able to do it. So I guess in conclusion here is that Carlos Maza is the type of guy that uses tech censorship for to root out people he doesn't like, and people who go against his ideas, and people who he deems a threat. So I'm going to show you this right here. His Twitter bio. Here's Carlos Maza, blue check marked, of course, at Gay Wonk. Okay. I write strike through for Vox.com. He's a, quote, Marxist pig. That's his words, not mine. And of course he lives in New York, New York. Of course he does. Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist, a libelous statement, if you will, with no evidence to back that up. Just an opinion. So yeah, I don't want to spend any more time on this guy than I really have to, but he's terrible. He's a terrible person. I'm sorry. Him being gay has nothing to do with it. He is a terrible person. His ideas suck, and he's more thin-skinned than Barack Obama, and that's saying a lot. This guy has wafer thin skin. Yeah. He's a terrible person. He knows he's a terrible person. And that's it. Again, no one should harass this guy. You shouldn't. You should debate his ideas, his bad ideas, his bad political ideology. He calls himself a Marxist pig. So where do you think he comes from where do you think he comes from with his ideas? He's a leftist jerk. That's what he is. He's basically a leftist jerk. He's a weak, thin-skinned leftist jerk. I think that's all we need to say about this guy. He's just a bad person. And again, I have to reiterate this. Don't harass him. Don't dox him. Don't flag his videos, because that's what he wants. Don't do this. Just debate his bad ideas. That's all you can do. Unlike him, which I think that he would have me killed, honestly. This guy would have me killed if his ideological friends took over. He would. You know he would. He would have me strung up along with a bunch of other people who don't agree with him in the town square and beheaded. He would do this. This is the type of guy who he is, because, quote unquote, in his Twitter bio, he calls himself as a self-identified Marxist pig. Carlos Maza, you're just a bad guy. You're bad.